because I couldn't hear you that well. At any rate, David's sitting here with me, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just calling to check in on you.
Well, I'm not doing well.
What's going on?
Well, Rachel's, I'm not sure I can have her over here any longer.
Well, howdy doody. What's going on now? You know, if you're watching my channel, you'd be like, well, you don't have a motorcycle helmet on. I do not. Got a Honda Goldwing hat on. I'm not sitting on a motorcycle seat. I'm not on a Triumph Rocket. So what the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing? It's a rainy, actually this rain, I mean literally it's raining. It was misting, drizzling, but now it's raining. So the whole idea of going on a motorcycle adventure with Chris to go look at motorcycles, that has been delayed. That's been delayed, so now I'm on a different mission. But it's funny, Chris, I'm telling you, he's every bit of me, everybody. You know, there's a lot of me's out there, just so you know. There's a ton of people out there that all they do is look to go buy yet another thing. I mean, I know I'm the guy that was like on steroids doing that, but I guarantee you there are a ton of the Iceman out there on a lower level where all they're fixated on is what's the next thing they're going to buy. And it's a fact. It's a fact. I've talked to car dealerships. I have car dealership relationships where there's people out there that buy a new car every 6 months. They don't go out and add cars. They just buy one, and they put a chunk of money down, and they show back up, and they put a chunk of money down, they buy yet another car. And they'll put 500 to 1,000 miles in the car, and they buy another car. They get nothing else better to do. This goes on all day long. So even though people watch my channel, and I know I pushed it beyond what most would ever push it, but the amount of people out there that are right now looking at the internet and just go buy a car, motorcycle, SUV, truck, boat, a RV, whatever, it's out there all day long of people that just go buy things just to have something to go do. I mean, I guarantee it. If I could ever just find all the individuals like me, I could create a hell of a documentary series of all the people that have nothing to do. They're like the QVC crowd, but on a bigger scale of what you're buying. I mean, the car dealerships, motorcycle dealerships, boat dealerships, the list goes on and on. They just look at these material items, and it's no different to them than selling a Rolex watch or a diamond ring, or, you know, it's just something that's expensive, but it's no different. It's a piece of material that has a value that you can sell and make money off of. That's really, at the end of the day, all it is. But I guarantee you, if I could find all the people to raise their hand that would actually admit, yeah, I just have an addiction to buying something, and that's what I do. I just like to buy a new car, drive it for 6 months, I get bored of it, and I go buy another new car, or a truck, or a motorcycle, whatever it is. It's massive. And I would only wish I could have the people raise their hand and tell me where I could go around and start videoing them of their antics. That's why I was wanting to do Chris's antics, because here's the ballgame. The reason I'm talking about this is because it went from him wanting to go buy a motorcycle today to then he tells me he's going to Beckley's RV. And I'm like, oh, why are you going to Beckley's RV? He's like, to look at a new RV, a toy hauler. Okay, all right. The wife is gone. What's interesting is his wife's out of town. And with the wife out of town, now he's had all this free time to start being adventurous on how he can go spend the family money. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yikes. But whatever. So what I'm going to do, what am I doing? I'm going to go down to Dulles Motorcycles of Dulles. They call it MOD. Remember that TV series, The Mod, back in the 70s? You probably don't. But anyways, I'm going to go buy Motorcycles of Dulles. It's now 2 weeks later that I took my Indian Chief Bobber and my Indian FTR to Motorcycles of Dulles. And I want to find out what reception of those motorcycles are at the dealership. I think they need to lower the prices because I think they're too salty. So I'm going to talk to John, the owner, about that. But I want to see what the reception is to these motorcycles. Are they getting much hit? But now, really, there's such a fine line when you're selling and buying things. This is a very challenging time because every other brother is graduating from high school, college. It's summertime, and most people disappear like late June into July to go on their vacation. So the sales, I can promise you, car dealerships, motorcycle dealerships will all tell you that, yeah, they see a slower period during the late June, early mid-July, or even July months because so many people are more fixated on spending their money going on vacation than going out and buy another damn car, motorcycle, truck, whatever it may be. So my gut instinct tells me that the foot traffic is down. And everybody that was hell-bent buying a motorcycle, they got excited back in March and April buying a motorcycle. Now you're into the summer months, and I think that it's now kind of, you're going into the late summer, early fall. Yeah, it doesn't end, everybody. It just doesn't end. But now this is so funny. So I left the home, like, all right, so there's no motorcycle riding today with Chris. So then Chris texted me here just a little while ago, well, I think I'm going to go up to Twigs on my motorcycle. I'm like, really? He's like, well, if it's just overcast, well, I do know that the forecast is for the rains to pretty much subside by about 1 o'clock in this area, 2 o'clock. So, but then it's a Friday. Now you're getting up to Twigs. You're now getting up there more about like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, whatever. Now it's revolve the day around Chris and rain. I'm just not up for it. Actually, I've been working most of the morning, and I really need to get back into the office and keep on working. And but I want to make a video of me going to Motorcycles of Dulles so you can all enjoy the ongoing Ice Age adventure TV of what I try to bring to you guys. If something might excite you. It comes in threes. 1, 2, 3. That's my saying. When you ride down the road, it always comes in threes. And now, that's perfect time where guys come up here on the left. Does anybody know these stories where you get locked in? And this guy here, he's, I don't know what this guy's going to do, but I just want to get around the guy. Gal, it's a girl. Alright, so here we are, and I'm going to spend $6 just to go down the faster way, the green way, to get to Motorcycle of Dulles. This is a very efficient, less headache of traffic to get to this location. But if I take it down there and back, it's like a $13 day just to go on this stupid ass greenway. It's never good enough, and yet the state wants to charge you for personal property tax, gas tax, blah 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 blah. So I'll be back in a second. Oh boy, the traffic is out, Everybody, it's a Friday. So Fridays in this area, they really are in so many ways the worst day. Was Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, midday, when the roads just, every other brother is out and about doing everything, man. Now, here's what's going to be really interesting is the Motorcycles of Dulles, this location does extremely well. I've witnessed this business from opening up and just growing by leaps and bounds. They've never have had any hard times. So here's either a trial ride. Nope, that guy's just riding his bike. So this motorcycle dealership has never ever slowed down. The pandemic, it was a gold mine. After the pandemic, it was a gold mine. Years later, it's a gold mine. I mean, I'm not lying. This place here is never a dull moment. Look at this here. So already I can see just by driving in, the challenge is parking here. The challenge is to park your vehicle at this location. But I'll pull up next to Pete's truck, his Ridgeline. He had some issues with that little Honda there, but let's go in and see what the gang says. Just to get an idea of this Chevy Bison, look at the difference. Look how much taller I mean, wow. All right, now, years ago, this dealership had all their bikes parked out front here because they didn't have a second level. But now they have a second level, and that's where the most likely my Chief Bobber and the FTR are upstairs. Let's come on in, and let's see the collection of the showroom floor. So it's interesting here. See, this is where my bike gets destroyed, because this bike is 17, 189. So now $3,000 off, 14. So this is a $13,000 bike. So this is where, why would somebody buy my FTR when you can buy a brand new one for $13,000? The color is kind of weird. Here is a nice, is this thing brand new? The GT 1600. I've ridden this. This is a beautiful bike. I'm surprised I didn't get one, to be very honest with you. But I know this is used, or it's a service. It's a used one, because you see how they changed out the exhaust. It's got to be. Or is that a factory exhaust? Maybe it is. I'm not real sure. I'm not the BMW enthusiast per se, so I don't know all that language. There we go. See, I think that's a really cool setup. Very practical to have a fun time on a bike. But look here. So you're at 20. So here's the Sport Chief, which that's the same bike that I have, but it's more aggressive, meaning it's the Chief series. So let's see down here, the Pursuit, $40,000. Wow. Indian used to kind of be, you go to buy an Indian and you save yourself a lot of money over buying a Harley. I think those days have kind of subsided. Hey there, morning. So here's the new 112. This is a actual liquid cooled motor that came from the Indian series. If you remember right, these things had the V-twin air cooled motor, and they're just, Indian is totally redoing their engine lineup in order for them to be EPA compliant to a degree. So the liquid cooled is the big 112 motor is the big new thing now. Wow. All right. So now it's time to say, hey there.
If it ain't the big boss himself.
Yes, it is. Hey, so I'm assuming my bikes are upstairs with covers on them.
Covers. And
I'm just being funny. I'm just being, yeah.
A couple of girls with the
Oh, cover, yeah.
everything.
Hey, so I think we need to evaluate the pricing, but I'm not gonna do it right now on my phone. But I think we're gonna have to see if what now?
$1.
Yeah, right.
On the video.
Right.
Got proof.
Right. There you go. So let's go upstairs and let's go see where what used to sit in my shop is now sitting in their shop and collecting dust. But they probably wipe theirs down. So now you walk upstairs, and what pops out at you? Where is mine? Where does it pop out on you? So I already see where it is. So there's my Chief Bobber. But here's the problem. What's the price? See there? 14. Well, that's not bad. The FTR. Okay, here's the FTR. This is where I think I'm not going to be successful. Well, no, they got a price. So that's a hell of a price, everybody. Wow. So that's, I mean, to me, wow. So what I want to know is, I mean, just unbelievable. For me as an individual, well, you know what? Problem is, there's too many, there's just too much. There's too many options. Yeah, Chris yesterday was texting me, and he showed me a picture of himself on a Kawasaki like Z900. He dwarfed the damn thing. I swear we saw these bikes this past winter. Look at this. Here's a Yamaha. This is nice. How many miles? 20,000 miles. Yeah, so the Chief Bobber looks good. The price is, they got a price. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as you know, you gotta be careful when you price these because everybody's gonna want a better price. So the person says $14,470, they're gonna say, I'll give you 12 for it. I'll give you 12.5 for it. Blah blah blah. That's why you gotta be careful. I proved that myself on my own marketplace of advertising these things at the lowest price, but then that person thinks that is not the lowest price. So here's a whole nother section right here of all of even more motorcycles for them to sell. Yeah, see, this whole second level was just put on a year ago. That's how busy this dealership is. You literally, they need 2 levels. All right, as we go down the stairs and we evaluate the MV Augusta series. And then the Royal Enfield. He's one of the longest running, you know, and this is what you run into. If you got a guy on a budget, he comes here and he's looking around motorcycles, all of a sudden he's like, wow, I can just buy a brand new Royal Enfield for dirt cheap. I mean, dirt cheap. If you just want to get a motorcycle. You see this? These things are just giveaway pricing. But this one drives, it can go both ways. This can drive a guy in here that goes from wanting to spend $6-7 grand to spending $10-12 grand. That's a whole other ball game. Yeah, that's a badass bike right there, everybody. Yeah. That'd be kind of like my Fireblade in so many ways. Yep, and this is even more of a badass bike. Look at this. Yeah, I would have to say this is more like the Fireblade. Probably, but even better. I mean, wow. This thing probably just screams. I mean, this, whew, that's pretty badass. Wow, getting new people in here that are, wonder what happened to. Yep, so heck of an inventory. The new R1300 adventure bike. I had the R1200s. And same thing. Buy it, sits in your garage. You never utilize it to what it is. It's just more about, I got, look at my, you know, look at me. That's what it all turns into. Here's the Bagger series. I always wanted the Bagger series. Really did. I really thought that this would be something I'd buy, but it dances. It so dances down on the back end. I mean, at high speed, the back end walks around on you. So you can see these guys. Well, you know what? We haven't been up to the Triumph area. Let's get up to the Triumph area and check out that as well. For anybody here that's local, oh, look at this here. This is pretty cool. So this now gives you options of you wanting to put gear on your motorcycle you bought that doesn't have the options. And this area is very cold. Really imagine the electric bill that John. So here, it's 1, 2, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You saw back there, 9. There's 9 sold. And there is the man of the hour.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you? You all right? So you just saw 9 sold motorcycles, okay? So that's just me coming up here in one day. This is a Trident, the triple 1200. Wow. Now that has some flair to it, doesn't it? Wow, 23. But that's all out. Yeah, it's all out to go race. So right now, I'm looking around. I haven't looked hard enough for the Rocket. I don't see a Rocket in here. I wonder if they've sold out of their Rockets. But the owner here kind of conveyed to me the Rocket is a challenge. See, I think a few years ago I was on the page and maybe get one of these, if you remember right. But then I was having to launch myself onto the bike all the damn time, and after a while of walking around, see this here, this is huge. 23 Triumph tire, 1200 leftover. Look at this. So this bike would come in at what? 19 grand? $19,000. Previous generation. I don't think this is the newer, latest, greatest, and that's what probably happened. That was one of the last before I think they updated it and made it even better. That'd be my guess. But I had this Triumph 1200. I mean, it's hard to believe like I bought that thing back like in 2016 or 17. To think that was like 7-8 years ago, the first bike I bought from these guys. It's just hard to believe. But that's it, everybody. So here's the whole collection. I just walked around. So, and upstairs, the inventory isn't really like overwhelming on the used motorcycles. So, and it seems like they're a little light on the Indian, but maybe not. Maybe because I'm used to walking in and seeing all the big touring bikes are usually up front. So maybe that's what's going on there. So look here. So the Chieftain. So there, that used to be the like the 111 or 116 naturally it wasn't liquid cooled, is what I'm trying to say. It was air cooled. So wow. All right, let's go feel out the guys and see what's going on. And wow, the rains are still here. I mean, it's a heavy rain. All right, so I'm leaving and talk to the gang back there. Talk to the personnel there. Not the owner, but he's not here. But they said, not much. They're not getting much interest. They say that the FTR is going to be very challenging to sell. The Bobber, he thinks, will probably move at some point. But they're like, the FTR is like, nope. Isn't that something? In today's world, you buy these material things and you're truly stuck. You're stuck with them. So, which that's not encouraging, but he's like, no bites. They've pushed the Chief Bobber on a few people, but the handlebars, they claim that people get turned off about the ape hanger style, the mini apes on that bike, which I didn't put those on. Some other guy did that just rode it for a little bit, then I got suckered into buying it myself. So pretty incredible. And it's kind of a hit or miss. He said that, they stay busy. He said actually last July they had an incredible July. So he's not convinced that really because people go on vacation. A lot of people take vacation time and go buy things. But they are surprised today that it's not much going on. And then Kit, who's worked there forever, he just retired. He's already retired. What goes on here at these dealerships, I do know, which I give the owner credit, is he prefers to hire retired people. He prefers to find the guy that's in his late 50s, early 60s, that's already retired. It doesn't mean that he has to make all the money in selling motorcycles to be happy, because the guy already has retirement. So if the guy makes an extra 50 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand, maybe 100 grand, the guy's content. It's more about an outlet for for people to go work there. I mean, that's what I hear from the individuals that have worked there over the years that have retired, then they go work there. They're like, yeah, it's more about just having something to do, and it's nice to have extra money. And that there, I mean, in all reality, that's a dealership there where the gig isn't really too bad, really, because as a salesperson, you're working there from 10 to 6, Tuesday through Friday, and then like 10 to 4 Saturday. So that, the 6 o'clock kind of sucks. You're not getting home till 7 o'clock at night. But as far as amount of time, it isn't like a car dealership. Motorcycle dealerships aren't like car dealerships. And that's something on how motorcycle dealerships survive and make money, and they structure more on an 8-hour, 9-hour day. But car dealerships, they structure it where it's borderline a 24-hour day. Isn't that something? I kind of just thought of that myself. So, you know, that's not encouraging. That's just going to show you for all the grief and the headache of me trying to sell these motorcycles on Marketplace. In some ways, I had more exposure of that. I guess I could have made a video if I was smart. I guess I could have made a video back there of both those motorcycles and posted them on Marketplace to go check them out and blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know. It's incredible, everybody. Beyond believable. But they've already sold like 50 motorcycles this month. I mean, it's not a killer month, but they'll probably, you know, they project they'll sell a good 60. By the end of the month, they'll probably be a good 60 motorcycles. But their air conditioning has been broken, and apparently the landlord, that's not their problem. It's the owner's problem. So it's been unbearable. That location has had no AC this whole week. So it's like, I know people on a personal level, they're like, it's beyond believable on how hot this, and what's crazy is, I even mentioned in my video walking through the showroom, I said, it felt chilly in there to me, but I even made the comment that his AC bill must be huge. Well, yeah, his AC bill is huge because he needs to buy a whole new commercial air conditioning system for that building. Wow. And I know they've been there now like 10 years. So what's the life expectancy of a commercial AC unit if you haven't stayed on top of it? Is it 10 years? I have no idea. So there you go. There's the gist of it. Not really, not encouraging by any means. It sounds like I'm stuck with motorcycles. I'll have to either cross the bridge and let the bank eventually come get them, or do I continue to suffer the pain and pay for the damn things? For what reason? For why? Just incredible, really. Just beyond believable. And then the race truck, actually I called. So the race truck isn't up for repossession. They're just calling to get money. But it's weird how they gave me a case number. Usually I get an email on a case number. That usually means that they're getting ready to come get the truck. So the truck isn't up for repossession. So I'm in better shape on that than I thought. But at the same time, why continue to keep the damn thing? I know, man, that's the challenge. I don't disagree. Why do you keep on paying for things that you're never going to own, and eventually, when you cross the bridge, you just say forget it? I hear you. Once again, my good friend Chris was saying at noon he was going to head up to Twigs, but I said to him earlier this morning, I said, why don't we just take the cars up if you just want to go look at the bikes, and I can make a video on that. But he wasn't really interested in that. He was interested more about going to go look at RVs. But I already know he's buried in the RV he has. He's buried. So I don't know how he figures he's going to make that deal go. He's bored. That's the reality. He's bored. He just wants something to do, and something to do is to go spend money. I wonder who knows this guy, right?